Good afternoon, Adam here from Board at Home, and welcome to this week's All Aboard. So we've got a few bits to discuss with you today, so we'll just dive straight in. So first up, starting in February, as we mentioned last week, we will be resuming our special events for our board games. We are kick-starting it off with King Domino and with King of Tokyo. These are two amazing family games. You can turn up, learn the rules within a few minutes if you've not played before, and have a great afternoon. There's prizes for everyone, so there's participation prizes, the winner gets something, the runners-up get something. It's a great day out for the whole family. It's just £2 for the event, so it doesn't cost any more than our normal events. And with that, you also get to stay on if you like to play afterwards. These events will take about an hour and a half to 2 hours total, so you have extra time after the event finishes to play a whole myriad of board games, or maybe play even more of these two games. So, next up is our game of the week, and that is Living Forest here. Living Forest is a family board game that focuses on deck building and tile placement and resource management. Throughout the game, you will be using your pre-constructed deck, so that is these cards here, this pre-built deck, and you will be adding cards to that as time goes on. What you're attempting to do is save the forest and saving the great tree. So there's three ways to win, either by getting 12 lotus petals, sacred flowers, in any one round, putting out 12 fires, or growing 12 protective trees. It's a really intuitive game, so you kind of get an idea of what you need to do within the first couple of rounds. I'm going to show you some of the components to the game so you can get an idea of what we're looking at. If you want to take a closer look at this game, we do have it upstairs in our demo area on the shop floor, so you can take a look through, have a perusal through the rule book as well. So let's show you some of those bits. So here we have one of the decks. This is the Varan deck. So if there's too many fires and you aren't strong enough to withstand them, then these will be added to your deck. These act sort of as like wounds in the game. So these will be cards that will be drawn throughout the game and will basically act like a dead cards in your deck, so it will kind of clog up the works. You can counteract them with these fragment tiles, so you can obtain those throughout the game. We have our Great Tree. This is just our starting player marker. I'll show you the main components here. So we've got our player boards, and you see here we've got the various different spaces for tiles. There's different bonuses that you can obtain throughout the game for covering certain squares or completing certain rows and columns. As I said, there is your starting deck that we showed you before. Each card will have on the side there a different amount of resources that it will give. Some later in the game will have minus resources, but they will provide you other benefits, so you really need to weigh that up. I'll show you the trees here. So the trees come in this lovely little display stand, clearly marked out, so you can see what action it does here. It also repeats the information along the bottom, and a place for all the tiles to go in. The tiles are really sturdy, so they're quite durable, so they're going to stand up to a lot of play. And we have our marketplace boards. So a deck building game, for those who don't know, is where you have your beginning deck as we showed you, and then you will add cards to that deck to get better powers, better abilities, more resources. And that's what you do with this board here, if you can see that clearly. So we have three different levels of cards. Your starting cards, your level 1 cards, level 2, level 3 cards. Next to them are these fires. Now these are what you're trying to put out, but what will happen is as you build your deck up, you'll actually be adding these to the fire. So you've kind of got to weigh up the pros and cons of every action that you do. And finally, the centre board. So this is another shared board that everyone uses. Around the edge are these different sacred stones. You can move around them as one of your actions each turn to obtain bonus actions. In the middle is where these fires will go, so every time that you collect a new card, there will be a fire that will go in here. Throughout the game you will have the chance to put these out as well as one of the objectives to win the game. Finally, we have our rule book. So it looks fairly long, but as you can see here, it is very well laid out. Nice large writing as well, so it is all very clear. So it's not as long as it may look. There we go. So that is everything in Living Forest. I've played this quite a lot over the previous weekend. First time we played it, we just kind of dove right in and just fell in love with it really. It's a really nice light deck builder, and for that reason I think it's perfect for families. Probably not as a introduction game to board games. It's a bit of more of a step up game, but it's certainly one that I think will be easy enough to learn if you've been playing board games for a while, or you want to get your kids into board games as well. So that is Living Forest. Finally, we have got our board game challenge that we will be introducing for February. So the board game challenge will run all month, and what will happen is each month we will pick a game. For example, we may pick King Domino that month. And the idea will be that every time that you come along to play, whether that's on Sundays as part of the Family Games Day, or whether you come along to our weekly board games club, or just a random afternoon throughout the week, you can have the chance to partake in the board game challenge as part of the entry to the boardroom. All it really entails is playing a game of whichever one is chosen that month. For example, King Domino. You'll play that, and then you'll come up to me up on the shop floor. Just let me know what your scores were for that game. I'll record them, and at the end of the month, whoever has the highest score will get a cool prize, and whoever gets sort of second and third will get some other things. It won't be anything major. It will be things like some money off purchase in the shop, free entry to your next visit to the boardroom, free drinks, things like that. I will lay that out in more detail. We'll be getting a chalkboard for this as well, so we can record all of the scores. You can play more than once, so it's not just a one-shot thing, but just a nice little thing for people to play, just to have a little bit of indirect fun competition between players, and hopefully introduce people to different games as well. I want to use this to really highlight loads of the games that we have in the library. That is everything for today and this week. We will be doing an unboxing later in the week on Terraforming Mars, and then this Friday we will be reintroducing the Jump In Let's Play with a look at Living Forest. Thank you all once again, and I'll see you in the boardroom. Thank you.